Well, according to reports, the White House moved to cancel remaining federal contracts to Harvard University amid an escalating battle with American universities. Harvard, as we have been covering, has already sued the Trump administration over halted funding and also a ban on enrolling international students. But as experts highlight, by targeting institutions, cancelling grants, and firing government researchers, Trump is impairing the ability to solve problems, prevent disease, design policy, inform the public, and also make tech advancements. We have some reactions lined up for you from Harvard University. Listen in.
The attack on Harvard and its international students is part of a deeper effort to defund and dismantle the academic world.
Trump has begun a dangerous march to roll back civil rights in this country. If there is anything to learn from this Jewish history, it's that when we push people out of our schools because of their identity, it's a symptom of a morally bankrupt politics.
But Donald Trump is attacking these freedoms because they get in the way of his authoritarian takeover. This is what authoritarians do.
And for further clarity, we have with us Daniel Block at the moment. Daniel, as always, thank you so much for joining us on NDTV. By framing Harvard as a bastion of Marxist maniacs and liberal bias, would you argue that the Trump administration is now using the global visibility of elite academia to actually signal a new ideological litmus test for US institutions?
Thanks, as always, for having me. Yeah, I think what's clearly happening here is it's an ideological battle between Trump and those who oppose him. And, you know, anybody who knows Harvard in and out knows that Harvard is hardly a Marxist far-left institution. I mean, this is one of the richest organizations in the world. It's an organization that has produced any number of billionaire capitalists. I mean, it doesn't even pass the smell test. What it really is a front for attacking anybody who doesn't agree with Trump's particular ideology. That's the ideological role and war that's going on here. I mean, as I think the last clip you showed said, it's part of the authoritarian project. Trump is trying to strangle off institutions that won't narrowly go along with his line.
Daniel, the administration, though, claims that Harvard fails to align with national values. So from a foreign affairs standpoint, how does this inward-looking ideology actually affect America's global credibility as a defender of academic freedom and also liberal democratic values?
I'd say there are three things that are going to happen here internationally. The first two related to what you said are poorly. It's obviously quite bad for the United States' reputation as a bastion and defender of academic freedom, because this is an outward attack on academic freedom, very plainly so. It also suggests, again, to what I was saying before, that the administration has a narrow ideological line it wants its universities to adhere to. And then I think more broadly than that, as many people know, one of the absolute pillars of American power in the world is its university system. The fact that the United States has an elite university system that people from all over the world want to come and study at. It helps bring talent into the United States. Plenty of people stay. They go on to be founders of some of the United States' most prestigious and successful companies. They go on to contribute in many other ways to US power and prestige around the world. And when you're doing things like cutting off Harvard's money, or even more extremely, barring international students from studying there, you're telling people that the United States is inward looking, that we don't want outside talent, that we don't want the country to be a bigger and more accepting place. And that's just going to do horrible things to US power and prestige. I mean, think about all the future possible founders who might wind up becoming American citizens or founding American companies, who will now go study somewhere else, whether that's in Europe or, as the United States really wouldn't want it to be, in China.
In fact, Hong Kong is also opening its doors for the international students. And speaking of international students, Harvard's president has called the curbs on international student enrollment devastating, as you are also highlighting. But Daniel, from a diplomatic standpoint, does this not then send a contradictory message to countries that invest heavily in sending students to the US, as you are pointing out?
I think it does. It sends a message that the United States is now less open and less welcome to international students than it was before. And look, you can say it's just one university, it's just Harvard, but they're picking arguably the most famous and prominent university in the United States. So there's no way that's not going to send a chilling message. And I think that that also is bad for American power in its own way, right? It's a form of American soft power, of American outreach. As you were saying, diplomacy, it's really a key word here. The United States can reach out not just to other countries' governments, but to other countries' societies by saying, look, we want you here. We want to give you an opportunity to study with us, to come into the country, have that be a pathway for you. And you're shutting that door out. You're shutting that diplomatic messaging down.
Well, as we wrap, Daniel, by tying civil rights rhetoric to the justification for defunding Harvard, would you say the administration is actually weaponizing legitimate grievances for political ends?
Well, how legitimate they are is a matter of interpretation, but it certainly is justifying political grievances for political ends, or legitimate grievances, whatever you want to call them. It is weaponizing grievances for political ends. I think that is really certainly what's happening here. You know, how anti-Semitic is Harvard's campus really? From what I understand, the answer is not very. That's not to say that there haven't been instances of anti-Semitism on Harvard's campus or on other campuses around the country. There have been, I'm sure. I've seen reports and evidence of that. But they're really, really marginal at best, particularly at a place like Harvard. And I think, you know, in fact, in doing that, what they're doing is they're cheapening actual instances of anti-Semitism. Because anti-Semitism is a problem in the United States. It's a problem in all sorts of parts of the world. But by using that as a front and a cover to launch this attack on academic freedom, they're cheapening it, and they're making it harder for people to take those accusations seriously.
Right, Daniel, as always, thank you so much for joining us with your views. We will, of course, revert to you for regular updates.